Hello, everyone. Welcome to your first review of topics before the quiz. Remember, every 2 weeks, more or less, I will evaluate your overall progress during the course. Don't worry, as I told you last week, the evaluation is not intended to fail you or pass you. It's just a way of measuring how well you're doing, how much you have progressed during this time, and based on the information of the quizzes or the evaluation, well, I will have to make decisions and identify what areas you are stronger or weaker, which areas need more work, what do you need more practice with, like maybe more speaking, maybe more pronunciation, maybe more structure, more vocabulary, and so on. But don't worry, as I'm telling you, this is a very basic review because this is a very basic course, and I'll try to go over all the topics we looked at in 2 weeks. It doesn't seem like much, but let me tell you, it is. So, first off, we have the personal information. As we have discussed before, the personal information includes a variety of aspects like the name, age, phone number, address, email address, occupation, and the place of origin. In order to find out the personal information of anyone else, or even ours, we need to make the appropriate questions. What's your name? How old are you? What's your phone number? What's your address? What's your email address? What do you do? Where are you from? Remember, most questions in English have a rise in intonation. What does that mean? That they go from the bottom to the top. Like, what's your name? How old are you? And so on and so on. Well, let's look at an example of the personal information. For example, for every single question, we need to give an answer. The answer will depend on your personal information. For example, what's your name? My name is Raúl Arano. How old are you? I am 36 years old. What's your phone number? It's 9932436274. What's your address? Juan Escutia, 221, Linda Vista. What's your email address? Raul_Arano A2@hotmail.com. What do you do? I am a teacher. Where are you from? I am from Veracruz. Remember something very important. Whenever we have to provide numbers, depending on the number is the way in which we will tell them. Most numbers are spelled one by one, like the phone number 9932436274. In the case of the numbers of the places in a building or maybe the rooms in a hotel, we can tell the number just as it is, like 221, or in some cases we can actually spell them one by one if you prefer. The idea is not to get confused, okay? And let's continue with more personal information, some extra. Remember, in English, we're more likely to use only the first and the last name. In my case, it's Raúl Arano. My first name is Raúl, and my last name is Arano. But sometimes, especially when we are having conversations with people who are not from Mexico, or we are having conversations with these people but via a telephone, Latin names tend to be a little bit difficult for most people who are not Latin Americans or Mexicans for that matter. So sometimes we need to spell our names. What does spell mean? It means that we have tenemos que deletrearlos, okay? Letter by letter, letra por letra. But there is a proper question for that. For example, how do you spell your first name? R-A-U-L. How do you spell your last name? A-R-A-N-O. Remember, the spelling is very important. Every single letter of the alphabet is pronounced a different way. So you better practice this again. Remember, I send you some audio. You need to check it. Then, another important topic. When we talk about the everyday objects we have around ourselves, we will have to describe them because sometimes certain objects are kind of difficult to identify, or maybe we don't know certain objects. And we use two specific words in order to talk about the objects. We have, if I'm not mistaken, we call them demonstratives. For example, this and these. This for singulars, these for plurals. Remember the pronunciation. This, these. This for singular, these for plural. And for example, what's this? It's a stapler. What's this? It's an address book. What are these? They are stamps. Again, what's this? It's a stapler. What's this? It's an address book. What are these? They are stamps. Remember, if the contraction of the subject with the verb to be it's a little bit difficult for you, don't worry. You can pronounce every word by itself, like instead of it's a stapler, it is a stapler, or it's an address book, it is an address book, or they are stamps, you can also say they are stamps, little by little, don't worry. But there is something important to recognize here. When we talk about the objects, we need to use articles to refer to those objects. We have three important articles, which are a, an, and the. The is very common. A, and are used to refer to singular objects. For example, it's a stapler, it's an address book, but we do not use an article when we talk about plurals. For example, they are stamps. We don't need them. So what's the deal with a and, teacher? A and will both work with singular objects, but when we define them as that, as just like that, like a singular object, for example, a stapler, an address book, in Spanish will be similar to una, okay? But when we talk about plurals, we don't need an article. So that's why we use only they are stamps, they are file cabinets, they are glasses, they are scissors, etc. The article the is a very special one because while we use an or no article at all to refer to simple objects, we sometimes use the when we refer to a very specific object. The specific object may be something we work with every single day. So the context will tell us what object we refer to. For example, the keys. What kind of keys? They can be whatever keys. Well, yeah, but we are talking about a specific set of keys or specific keys. For example, these are the classroom keys, or my bedroom's keys, or my house keys, or my car keys. Okay, so when we use the article the, we don't need to define the object. For example, I need the control, or I need the TV, or I need the keys, the car keys. I'm referring to a very specific object, so we don't need to define it. And this is the last one, the prepositions. Remember, when we are trying to find things in the morning in our house, sometimes they get lost for some reason, and we may misplace them sometimes, but we can locate them by using the prepositions of place. For example, what are the keys? The keys are in the box. And if you look at the picture, it's very clear. We have the prepositions represented by the location of the keys in different points in the box. For example, we have in, like this, yes, in front of, behind, on, next to, under. I repeat, in front of, behind, on, next to, under. Well, as I told you, this was a very basic and quick review. You don't you don't need to worry about the quiz. The quiz is not going to be very, very difficult. It's very simple. The intention, as I told you, is just to see your overall progress. I'm very sure that with the classes you have taken with me and the notes you have taken in class, and maybe this quick review and the exercises you have done, I think that's good enough for you to practice and get ready for the exam. Remember, we will have it soon. Okay? So that's it for today. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in class. Bye.